Alright, so 𝗦𝗨𝗣𝗣𝗢𝗥𝗧 just got another patch known as patch 10.5. So we'll be running through the patch notes for that update, but we'll also be going through the new Atomic Shop items and sales, as well as the Inside the Vault that we just got, which lets us know what's next for Nuclear Winter, which, if you don't know, is the new Battle Royale game mode in 𝗦𝗨𝗣𝗣𝗢𝗥𝗧, which has actually received a lot of good feedback. So starting with patch 10.5, which arrived on June 25th, it includes a host of bug fixes for all game modes, but primarily Nuclear Winter, as well as a few design adjustments for Nuclear Winter itself. Additionally, with this patch, Nuclear Winter has leveled up from pre-beta to beta, so that means a full 1.0 release will be releasing probably sometime in the next month. So the download sizes for this update is under 3 GB for consoles and 1 GB for PC. Across all platforms, this is update 1.2.0.24. So starting off with the Nuclear Winter design changes, first being for items and loot. For Under Armor, players can now favorite one Under Armor in the Atomic Shop for use in Nuclear Winter, in addition to one headwear item and one outfit. For automatic rifles, they can now be found in small supply crates rather than pre-existing containers in the world. For submachine guns, they can now be found in medium supply crates rather than small supply crates. Supply crate density has been adjusted in a few areas where more crates were spawning than intended. I did notice that some locations had a load of crates, so this is understandable. Moving on to perks, we got one change for perks, that being for Dead Man Sprinting. This perk previously was not applying its effects correctly and has been redesigned. So Dead Man Sprinting now causes action points to drain 25% slower while under 30% HP. As for Overseer progression, we got one change, that being for terminals. So new entries have been added to the Zax terminals that can be unlocked by reaching Overseer rank 100. And lastly, user interface. For tutorials, a more info button has been added to the Nuclear Winter perk card menu, which can be used to reopen the perk card tutorial. Now, moving on to adventure and survival bug fixes. Of course, we've got art and graphics. For power armor, sections of the power armor chassis are no longer visible through the Black Rider power armor paints, and the paint's headlamp eye color has been adjusted. And another fix for power armor is pieces of rebar are no longer obstructing the player's view when wielding a heavy weapon in first-person perspective while wearing power armor with the Inferno Mark 1, Mark 2, or Mark 3 paint. As for shadows, they addressed an issue that could cause character shadows to appear blocky. For weapons, the first responders pump action shotgun paint will now correctly apply to silencer mods. Moving on to camp, crafting, and workshops, they fix an exploit. They address the exploit that could allow items in player vending machines to be duplicated. And for signs, they fix an issue preventing the Red Rocket Mega Sign from taking damage from subsequent player attacks after the first. Moving on to perks, they fix the 𝗠𝗘𝗄 perk, as VATS no longer automatically closes after killing an enemy while the 𝗠𝗘𝗄 perk card is equipped. For performance and stability, the best part of every update, they improved camp load times when connecting to a world and after fast traveling. They did a stability fix on PC, so now attempting to fast travel from one active event to another no longer sometimes causes the game client to crash. For just general stability across all platforms, they addressed a rare crash that could occur when fast traveling or loading into a world, and they also fixed a rare crash that could occur when clicking on a wanted teammate's map marker. Moving on to quests and events, they fixed Operation Tidy, so players can once again speak to Scout Leader Pompey to start the Operation Tidy daily quest. And lastly, for user interface, they did a fix for character creation. So now being removed from a world due to inactivity while creating a new character no longer causes portions of the UI to disappear upon joining a new world. Now, moving on to Nuclear Winter bug fixes, starting with art and graphics again. Starting off with an exploit. Now, this is actually an I setting that I had personally because I don't like the grass in this game, but they did address the exploit that could be used to disable grasses and shrubs during Nuclear Winter matches. I understand them making this change, and I'm glad they did it because it truly is a very unfair advantage, but now everyone is on a fair playing field, and that is a great thing. Also, for graphics, grasses beyond the sear line no longer appear to fade out when a player spawns nearby, and they also fixed a graphical corruption that could appear on the storm wall during storm constrictions. And for lighting, Vault 51's interior is now a bit brighter. Now, moving on to camps. Players can now place blueprints in Nuclear Winter that normally require the home defense or science perks in other game modes. However, all objects a blueprint contains that requires those perks, such as turrets or traps, will be removed on placement during a Nuclear Winter match. Perk requirements such as Home Defense or Science no longer appear when attempting to place a blueprint in Nuclear Winter, and now in the build menu, Water, Food, and Resource tabs no longer appear in the build menu during Nuclear Winter matches. Moving on to challenges, the Nuclear Winter Complete Matches challenge descriptions have been updated to stay in matches until the end to help clarify the objective. And the Nuclear Winter daily challenges can no longer be completed more than once per day, and daily challenges have been re-enabled. Moving on to creatures, Mirelurks no longer get stuck in trees after spawning at New River Gorge Resorts. For hazards, red barrels are now more consistently apply rads to nearby candidates. For perks, the Frog Legs perk card description has been updated to say jump significantly higher to better match its effect description in the Pip-Boy. Ground Pounder now correctly increases automatic rifle reload speeds, and Wrecking Ball now correctly increases damage dealt to camp and workshop objects by 120%. Moving on to items, the Stalker Bandana, Stalker Goggles, Wasteland Trapper Mask, and Wasteland Trapper Hat can now correctly be marked as favorites in the Atomic Shop for use in Nuclear Winter, in addition to outfits like the Elder's Battle Coats. Vault 51 holotapes can no longer be placed in containers. Removed a location where it was possible for a Bowie knife to spawn, as this weapon is not intended to be available in Nuclear Winter. Flipped over a few magazines that previously appeared face down. The duration of the AP reduction effect applied by Scout's Life number 8 has been increased from 30 minutes to 1 hour, which is consistent with other Nuclear Winter magazine effects. Looking away from a downed teammate while attempting to revive them no longer causes the reviving player to exit their power armor. Holding to revive a teammate while wearing power armor no longer causes the controls to become unresponsive. And now moving on to performance and stability. Implemented an improvement to reduce cases where players may be disconnected from a server immediately after finding a Nuclear Winter match. Repeatedly adding and removing players from a team no longer causes those players to be disconnected. Objects placed with camps no longer cause hitching when they are destroyed by the storm. Fixed a crash that could occur when returning to the main menu from Nuclear Winter Spectator mode. Addressed an issue that could cause a server to crash at the end of a Nuclear Winter match. And fixed a pair of crashes that could occur while in Nuclear Winter Spectator mode. And lastly, moving on to user interface. Fix an issue that could cause the compass to display false teammate markers. Machine gun turret markers in the compass no longer appear hostile toward the player who placed them. Address an exploit that could allow a player to obtain a weapon inside of Vault 51. Address an exploit that could allow a player to remain inside of Vault 51 rather than loading into a match with the other candidates. Players can no longer mark nuclear launch codes as favorites. On Xbox, fixed a rare issue that could cause non-functional UI elements to appear and persist during a match under specific circumstances. Notification text that appears after launching a nuke is now correctly translated in the Russian version of the game client. The word Overseer that appears on duplicate perk cards no longer has missing characters in the Japanese version of the game client. Text is no longer truncated on the Nuclear Winter More Info page in non-English versions of the game client. The boundaries of the storm now correctly display on the map when the storm constricts. Fix an issue that could prevent the player's match placement from appearing on the match results screen. Progression rewards the player has already earned no longer appear in the upcoming rewards section of the match results screen. Launching a nuke via the Pip-Boy or favorites menu after winning a match no longer prevents the match results screen from displaying. Follow leader to new world and searching for world notifications no longer persist for players who decline to join their team leader in an adventure mode world after quitting Nuclear Winter. Fixed an issue that could cause the perk menu to become unresponsive when managing perk card selections. Nuclear Winter photo mode frames now correctly display the Atomic Shop logo when viewed in photo mode. When attempting to place a quick camp kit, the build menu now correctly opens to and highlights the selected kit. Fix an issue in which the Quick Boy UI could visually persist while attempting to place a quick camp kit. At the end of a match, a banner now appears for spectators indicating who won. The game camera no longer zooms for spectators when the player they are watching looks down a weapon sight. The red skull icon that marks a player's death location will no longer appear for the player who was killed. Instead, it will only appear for their teammates. When the final enemy on a team is killed while all of their teammates are in the down state, the kill credit for the downed enemies will be awarded to the player who originally downed them as long as the player is still alive. Removed a blank second page from a terminal entry in Vault 51. And lastly, added several missing tutorials to Nuclear Winter. And that is everything for Fallout 76 patch 10.5. Now, moving on to the Atomic Shop patch 10.5 items and sales. There are currently 3 free items in the Atomic Shop that you need to know about. First of which is the Vault Boy Hug Cutout, which is available until July 2nd. Next is the Pride Photo Mode Frame and Pride Player Icon. Currently, these 2 items do not have an end date, but I'm assuming maybe they'll stay free forever. I don't know, maybe they're just here for Pride Month, but I feel like Bethesda will probably keep them in the game indefinitely. Could be wrong on that, but we'll have to wait and see. Next are the limited time offers. First is the Mothman Cultist Camp Bundle, which is 1,500 atoms. It's available from June 25th to July 2nd. We have the Mothman Outfit Bundle, which is 1,500 atoms again, and is available from June 25th to July 2nd. We have the Bone Raider Excavator Power Armor Paints, which is 1,000 atoms. It's available from June 25th to July 2nd, and the Mothman Photo Frame, which costs 300 atoms and is available from June 29th to June 30th. As for more details, the Mothman Cultist Camp Bundle contains a smoke machine, which is a bonus item, and this can actually only be unlocked by purchasing this bundle, and it actually looks pretty interesting. It also includes all 5 Mothman Cult statues, all 3 Mothman Cultist torches, 5-piece Mothman Cultist furniture set, and the Mothman Cult effigy. And then for some more details on the Mothman Outfit Bundle, here's what it contains. Alien Mothman Mask, Cultist Headpiece Set, Metal Mothman Mask, Mothman Power Armor Paint, and Mothman Pip-Boy Paint. Now, I'll go ahead and show you on screen the item sales. Some of these have already expired, so there's no point in me reading them all the way through, but there are still 4 more sales that you haven't missed when watching this video. All of this stuff is 100 to 350 atoms. It's low enough for you to be able to get this stuff by simply doing some in-game challenges. As for all the new items that have been added to the Atomic Shop, that includes the Wasteland Trapper outfit for 900 atoms, the Cryptid Enthusiast outfit, 700, Mothman Cultist Furniture Set, 700, Cultist Headpiece Set, 500, Metal Mothman Mask, 500, Mothman Cult Effigy for 500, Vault Boy Cutout Set, 500, Alien Mothman Mask for 400 atoms, Mothman Pip-Boy Paint for 400, Mothman Cult Statue Set for 300, and the Mothman Cultist Torch Set for 200 atoms. That is everything that is new with the Fallout 76 10.5 patch in the Atomic Shop. Now, what about the future of Fallout 76 and Nuclear Winter? Well, thankfully, we got an Inside the Vaults just today for Fallout 76, and we're going to run through that entire post here in this video. So without further ado, here we go. Welcome back to Inside the Vaults. We know that some of you in the community have been hungry to learn more about our plans for Nuclear Winter going forward. Today, we'd like to share details about changes you can expect to see in upcoming patches, as well as a few words on the new mode from the development team. So starting off, what's next for Nuclear Winter? Create a PvP game mode for Fallout 76 that allows players to jump in and have a fun experience in 20 minutes or less. That was our primary goal when we first began working on Nuclear Winter. After lots of discussion, we decided to challenge ourselves to embrace everything that makes Fallout, all while capturing the fun of a Battle Royale rule set. When we found we had to kill the server after every playtest just to make the team get back to work, we realized we were onto something. We were having a ton of fun, and the sneak peek was about finding out if you thought so too. During that time, you took something that you understandably approached with a degree of skepticism and gave it a chance. We watched your feedback closely as you started jumping into matches, and the community's collective excitement prompted us to keep the mode online while we continued working on it. Since then, we released patch 10.5, which we just discussed, to address several bugs and stability issues. But there's work yet to do. We're already planning to implement a number of changes based on thoughts you've shared with us so far. Here's a look at a few improvements we're currently planning to bring to the game with future updates. Balance adjustments. In Nuclear Winter, everyone starts on a level playing field. Maintaining that fairness is very important to us, especially as players gain access to a wider variety of perk cards by ranking up and throughout each match as players get their hands on the many weapons that can appear in-game. With this in mind, we're currently looking to address a few balance issues for a number of weapons and perk cards, and yes, that includes frog legs. Next is duplicate perk rewards. We've heard feedback from some players who feel they're receiving too many duplicate perk cards as Overseer rank up rewards. We're looking into these reports and we are currently discussing ways we can make improvements to this experience going forward. And last is stability. Patch 10.5 brought a number of stability improvements to the game, but we're not done yet. As with the main game, we're continually working to address crashes and improve server performance whenever possible to reduce the likelihood of unexpected interruptions during your play sessions. Looking further ahead, expect to see consistent updates for Nuclear Winter alongside the main game, with new features, enhancements, and balance changes driven by the feedback we receive from you. Please be vocal. We are actively reading and watching as much of your feedback as we can. Together, we can continue to improve Nuclear Winter. We're excited to see where it goes, and we will see you in Vault 51. Now, they also added a little snippet at the bottom of the page that says, even though we just released an update, we're still moving full speed ahead toward patch 11, which is currently planned for early July. This patch will include adjustments for all game modes, including power armor improvements, new features, and plenty of fixes for bugs that have been reported to us by the 𝗦𝗦𝗘𝗏 community. Stay tuned for next week's Inside the Vault to catch a preview of what's in store with patch 11. And I'll be sure to cover that day one. But that's it for this video. If you enjoyed, please smack that like button down below, subscribe, join the good fight if you haven't already, and ring that bell icon to stay updated on all of my future videos. It would be super greatly appreciated as always. And until next time, this is 𝗦𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗧, signing off.